What do you expect when you do something nice and beautiful for the space that you share with others? Whether it's your home, your office, a place that you join with others, what do you expect? One of our members wrote, "When I bring home a big vase of flowers and set it in the middle of the kitchen, I expect it will be noticed. And when it isn't even noticed, I feel invisible and unappreciated, even though I appreciate the beauty of the flowers." Is this one of your experiences that you sometimes or often do something that you are doing it to make the we space, the shared space, work better, look more beautiful? Could be something cleaned up, could be a vase of flowers, but it's not noticed. Doesn't seem to be appreciated. What happens in your body? I'm guessing you might feel a little bit contracted. Like this member offers, I feel invisible. I feel invisible and unappreciated. That really is personal, isn't it? Let's do some tapping together. Side of the hand. Even though I feel invisible, and I'm definitely unappreciated here, they didn't even notice. I accept the act of service as being right for me, even though I expected them to notice. That's sort of why I was doing it. It's not the whole reason, but it is something I really wanted. I expected it, and it didn't happen. And now I feel so invisible and unappreciated. I'm open to getting clear, both with myself and the other people, about this loving act of service. Top of the head. But I feel invisible. Eyebrow. They didn't notice. Side of the eye. They didn't appreciate it. Under the eye. I did it for us. Under the nose. I did it for them. Chin. And they didn't even notice. Collarbone. How do you not notice a big vase of flowers? That's really disorienting. Under the arm. My expectations were definitely not met. Top of the head. And I don't feel good about it. Take a deep breath. If you have a specific example like the vase of flowers, one that's true for you, what do you notice now in your body? 0 to 10, how strong does it still feel? Let's do another round. Even though they didn't notice, and they definitely didn't appreciate. I expected them to. What if I accepted their lack of reaction? Top of the head. What if it's not important to them? Eyebrow. What if I'm not important to them? Side of the eye. This should be appreciated. Under the eye. Don't they know what this means? Under the nose. It means I care. Chin. I want to be appreciated for caring. Collarbone. I want to be appreciated for what I do. And they didn't even notice. Under the arm. I'm discovering how hard this is on my nervous system. Top of the head. I had this expectation that they would notice. And it's completely reasonable for me to expect them to. Take a deep breath. And check back in with yourself. How do you feel about it? If it's still really intense, I encourage you to go back and do those same tappings again right now before we move on. But there is more to say about this. Again, going into expectations, our expectations are usually unconscious. They come to consciousness when they're not met. Ouch. Our alert system goes off. What does this mean? And this member, as intense as you could imagine, like feeling invisible, that I feel invisible when my flowers aren't being noticed. It's the kind of thing that an expectation does to us. The flowers weren't noticed, and I feel invisible and unappreciated. That's, can you feel how disorienting that is? And you'll notice that as I tune into the disorientation, it's like, what does this mean? Expectations, when they're not met, come with a question. What in the world does this mean? And we're often really hard on ourselves about what it means. Our primitive brain will assume, oh, well, you're invisible and unappreciated. That's what it means. Mm, no, probably not. It may be true, but if you have overall a good relationship, one where there's any appreciation at all, them not noticing the flowers probably doesn't mean that. And this is where tapping can take so much strain off of the relationship. You have an expectation. Your nervous system, your primitive brain. If I do this, then I'll get this. That's an expectation. That's not an agreement. An agreement might look like, hey, I like decorating our home with flowers. I'm curious, how how much do you like that? 0 to 10. It's okay. Doesn't bother me. Well, if you're going to decorate the home with flowers and your partner doesn't bother them, but it's a 2, it's not important to them. Well, your agreement is if you're going to decorate with flowers, it won't bother them. But you're not going to get appreciation for enhancing their world because it's only a 2 for them. If they say, oh, I love flowers, it starts feeling really natural, almost like, oh, like a breath of fresh air inside. Oh, great. I'm wondering if when I bring flowers in, if you notice them, that you'll let me know that you appreciate the breath of fresh air. Oh, yeah, I'll do that. And if you don't, is it okay for me to ask for some recognition and appreciation for it? Sure. Yeah. Because it's an important part of the whole process for me as I collect the flowers and I tune to us and that breath of fresh air and I bring them in and I put them down, and until there's something that feels like a shared recognition that they're here, I just feel a little off. So great. Do many people do this? No. they they feel invisible and unappreciated, and then that energy carries forward into later, where maybe the partner makes dinner and wants to feel seen and appreciated, but there's a withholding because the flowers haven't been brought to appreciation and closure. And this is important work. It's about allowing ourselves to thrive in relationship by, another word for expectations are assumptions. We assume because it's important to us that it'll be important to them. We assume that they, by caring about us, will be able to elevate their desire and appreciation for flowers from a 2 to a 10, which is where ours is, and that they'll join us there. It's not really true. Everyone's nervous system and the things that they find soothing and nourishing are different. And when there's commonality, there can be like, oh, appreciation is one of the things that we want to do for each other. And yeah. So, what does that bring up for you? If you'd like to share in the comments or drop me an email, rick@thrivingnow.com. I'd love to hear how you apply this, taking an expectation and turning it into an agreement and clarifying what's important to the we space and the people that are a part of it.